Hello to all the comic fans, Marvel geeks, and all the nerds in between. Welcome to another episode of the new and improved Vigilante Vibes, where I give you all the Marvel discussions, theories, and news without the toxicity that's becoming so big in the fandom. I'm your host, Megan Nicole, and today I have a very special guest. He's a returning guest, so you may have seen him on an older episode. He's a man who wears many hats, and those hats include filmmaker, producer, host, writer, director, and above all else, a nerd. Please welcome Alex Cardoza.
Your intro is just too good. I would have gone with this old man who's still trying to be relevant in the world of nerdom.
That's wild. Well, I mean, there's no way my listeners don't know who you are. You're everywhere, doing everything at all times.
I try, and one of my favorite things to do is be able to follow other creators like yourself, which inspire me to continue pushing and continue doing things on my end. Because even today, I was just like, you get to a point where you're just a little bit tired and a little bit more frustrated and do I want to push today? And then you see what other creators around you are doing that's just wonderful, and you're just like, yep, I'm gonna do it because they inspire me. So I'm glad that I'm here. As I mentioned to you before, I always want to collab with you and do things and help you, and I push your stuff anytime I can, and I see it on my end. So yeah.
And I appreciate the hell of you, but I do understand that feeling. It's like the week before summer vacation when you're in middle school. You're just like, I don't have it in me to keep going, but I know I have to. But then you see someone doing something so cool, and or you see someone's milestone. That's what always gets me when someone says, I got 100 followers, or I'm on my 100th episode. I'm like, hell yeah, I want that excitement. I want that to keep going.
I like that. You're right. Milestones are so big. And I've kind of in the later part of this year and beginning for next year, I kind of sat down, and I've been looking at the world of social media, and I'm like, there's just, and you mentioned it on the top of the show, there's a lot of toxicity out there, right? And things that people are just doing and saying that just don't apply or align with our values and what we like to do here, in the nerd world. And so I was just like, you know what? Instead of followers, honestly, for me, it's just community. So, on Threads, I'll have over 2,000 community members. I want to build that community. I don't want to just build followers. Anyone can build followers. You can buy followers online. I want to build a community, whether it's 5, 10, 15, 20 people. I don't care. I just want people like you, Megan, who love this space to be part, for us to be part of each other's community, basically,
I completely agree, because you're right. You can just buy followers or bots follow you. What is that going to get you? It's going to make you look big, but a community is where the engagement comes from. That's where your relationships happen. All the people I've had on my podcast in the past few weeks are people I've made a relationship with and that I consider a friend. And that means so much more to me than 1,000 followers or 2,000. That doesn't do anything for me as a creator. That just makes me look good to people who don't know me. I want people who know me think I look good.
Yeah, and numbers are almost like vanity nowadays. You wear something just to wear it, just to show off that you have it. I'd rather have 200, 2,000, whatever, good, loyal people, communities, people that want to build more community around them than just people who just hit the follow button just to follow,
Totally. And plus, I want to collaborate with people. I want to get to know them. I want to support them too. I can't do that with these followers that don't even have anything to do with me. I want that community, like you said. And I feel like we're doing such a big job at doing it, especially on Threads and now Blue Sky.
Yeah.
That's been the biggest players for me, because everyone's looking for that place where they feel safe, where they post an episode and they don't get trashed on for it. They want people to, right? Like YouTube, that place is terrifying.
YouTube, it's just unfortunate we've gotten to a point where people just write and say whatever they want without any consequence, and the other night I was sitting here and I was thinking, God, you know me, Megan, I'm a huge X-Men fan. I think you know that by now, to the millionth degree. And I posted a video of, that I had of Magneto when he kind of just shuts the world down.
Hmm.
And that was just such a great moment in time for us. We're watching that show, and they utter the words, Magneto was right. Still get goosebumps to this day when I say it. And it's just like immediate reaction from the people in the community. The numbers, unbelievable amount of people that just racked up that video. And I'm like, wow. And it's still till today. And I put that thing, last week, and it's still doing insane numbers. And I'm like, this is the community that I want to thrive in. Like, this is what I love. Not because the engagement and like the numbers, I should say. The engagement is what I want. I want my community, or our community, to be able to talk within each other and rely on each other for things, as opposed to like, oh, look, a metric, I'm seeing numbers.
Totally agree. It's like I can post all day long a post and say, I like the MCU Quicksilver better than the Fox Quicksilver, which is true and not true, but whatever. But
How dare you, Megan?
One is super hot and one is super good at what he does. And
Yeah,
I can't
I
choose
agree with
which
that.
one. I can't choose which one matters most to me. So it's both. But I want people to converse with me. I want people to talk to me about. I don't want people to say like agree, disagree, and move on. Like, I want to get to know you. I want to know about you. I want to know what you're into. I want to start this community, and I want it to grow. The bigger that non-toxic community gets, the less room there is for the toxicity that's so rampant in every fandom.
100% agree. I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah. I'm glad someone is. So that's great. So today we're going to talk about a little bit of everything, Marvel news, projects we're excited about, and of course, we're going to get to know Alex even more than we already do. So be prepared.
I'm scared, actually.
That's okay. That's all right. So starting us off, according to comicbook.com and their insider Daniel Richtman, the third round of test screenings for Captain America Brave New World have been mostly negative. Now, I usually don't take what they say too seriously because they are pretty notorious for running on rage bait and just getting that engagement that way. But you'll see it all over the internet, so you might as well know where the rumor originated.
That to me is interesting, because as of late, people are hating. They want to, like you just said, they want to hate movies more than they want to, like, find a happy medium or find constructive criticism.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I don't see this movie doing bad, but I don't see it doing super, super great either, just because there's always going to be the Steve Rogers fanboys out there who are like, that's not my Captain America, that's inevitable, as Thanos would say. But, I mean, so you're saying that the test screenings before were positive. Then what changed?
I think that what's happening is we've fallen into this hole where people tend to just go in already thinking negatively about something. And I understand that we had a great run of films with the first era of the MCU, because it was new to us. None of it had been done before. And I understand by this time, that started back in 2008 with Iron Man, right? Where we're at now with the MCU officially. Where we're at now, yes, we've kind of seen it all. And Marvel tries to reinvent the wheel a little bit. The MCU does, outside of the comic book world, and I think people are holding on so hard to their, just to their fandom of how things should be, as opposed to like this being a creative new free world. And when they go in with a bad attitude, you're gonna get people who are just gonna find everything that they're gonna dislike before they tell you what they're gonna like.
I agree completely with that. But I also think that the toxic and bigoted side have found out that if they just use, I want comic book accuracy as a reasoning, they can't say the thing out loud. So they don't like hearing that Sam Wilson was Captain America in the comics. They don't like hearing that She-Hulk is the most comic accurate show. They don't like any of that. But they'll tell you all day, Steve Rogers was the best Captain America. He's the one from the comics. He does this and that. It's like, who cares? When has the MCU been comic accurate? First of all, never.
And it shouldn't. You should have some type of. I mean, look at the X-Men. It took them 26 years, 25 years for us to get a comic accurate Wolverine, and even then, it's their take on the yellow and blue suit. It's not to the T to something that we've seen before. No, we know Wolverine as the comic book, and X-Men. The original animated series type of the Jim Lee version. But people just, I don't know, man. It's so bad. Sometimes it just gets so draining, Megan, to have to deal with people that you try to talk to, and they're just so adamant and want to beat you over the head with what they think, and that's final for them.
I completely agree. People are not open to seeing that. Yeah, it's not the way you want it done, but does that mean it's bad? Because those aren't synonymous. Correct. You can't keep your mind open to seeing that maybe it could go a different way. Maybe that way would be better for the movie. Because let's be honest, the things in comics, not all of that looks great transferred into a live action thing. Like even some of the costumes do not make sense live action. So there has to be some kind of differentiation with the comics and the movies and the shows. Plus, I mean, there's dozens and dozens of years of comics, man.
Yes.
You want all that in a movie because you're going to be there at the movie theater for like 2 weeks.
Or they're not to continue harping on this, but their favorite is always when they mix stories together and put like three different like story arcs that happened within 10 books, right? Into a 2.5 hour movie, and they're like, why did we just let it be? Can we enjoy what we're seeing? And I really do hope that the new Captain America movie does well, because that will leave the door open for more future renderings of something different, and we could always kind of circle back to the Steve Rogers era and circle back to Steve Rogers, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the same actor. Like, come on, man, like these guys are aging and moving on. So
well, if the movie does poorly, I 100% think it's not going to be because of Sam Wilson. It's because they have shoved too much in the movie. Like, it's a Hulk-centered movie now with all of the Hulk characters. They said not the Hulk, but like,
that's true.
There's a lot of Hulk characters for Bruce Banner to not just make a cameo. That's what I think will kill him, because it's like, that's what I've always been worried about, that you won't let Anthony Mackie have his movie, that you're using this as a way around of not being allowed to make a Hulk movie. Just like you made a She-Hulk series, you weren't allowed to make a movie.
Yeah. Kind of like what Sony does now. With everything Spider-Man, right? So,
should be illegal.
Yeah.
So, our next thing, which is actually positive news that I was confused about. Venom: The Last Dance officially becomes the 7th highest grossing film of 2024 worldwide, earning $456.4 million.
Wow. That is so great to hear.
It is. I did not see it coming because I haven't seen the movie. So I thought it was going to be like Venom 2. Not great.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. But I honestly, truly love Venom. Yeah. I fell in love with him in the early 90s, when he had when Todd McFarlane was doing his his series, his rendition of him, and just like Venom Lethal Protector. I own all those books from the first run. I have the gold cover with him and Spider-Man. Like, I mean, I have a lot of comic books, my friends. Like, it's a problem. So for me, it's like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing, carnage, and I Megan, maybe it's just me, but I go in and I understand there's some things that might not make sense, and sometimes the story just kind of like drops off and you're like, oh no. But I kind of just throw all that aside because I'm a kid watching these
Totally.
superheroes and whatnot being brought to life, right? And I would only hope that the people who like criticize and sit there understand that yes, there's going to be story gaps and holes in the story. Yeah, bring those up. Bring up some constructive criticism. Bring up a way to kind of patch those holes. But at the same time, sit there and think, dude, we are in our era. We grew up reading these books, and now we have them in front of our screen. You know?
Yeah. My problem with Venom 2 is that it could have done well with this either being separate stories or giving it a whole another hour. Because I want to see so much more with Carnage. Like you, I love Venom. I'm wearing a Venom shirt, for God's sakes. But I love Venom. I would watch Tom Hardy as Venom.
Let me see your shirt. Show it off. Show it off. Let me see. Ooh. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. God, so good.
Yeah. Like, I could watch Tom Hardy as Venom forever, as Eddie Brock.
Tom Hardy's the man. He is the man. Such an incredible job.
Yeah.
To me, he is my Venom.
Totally.
And always will be. And just, just like Hugh Jackman is my Wolverine, like that is 100% my Venom. He took the role, and we had a previous Venom. That was not Venom, my friends.
Oh.
That was a Venom who was on crack. All right, my friends.
Grace, I give him props because that was a really big role for such a little guy to take.
It really was.
Yeah,
I did not see that coming when I first saw it.
He did what he could with what he had. I blame the creators of that because that was so rude to put on his little shoulders. You put Eric Foreman through that, and that is terrible.
You're right. It is Eric. I forgot. Yes. Yeah. He was a very popular actor, and they picked him right up because of that. It's just that, unfortunately, like you talk about, we're talking about constructive criticism. He just didn't have the body type to be Venom. Like, we all seen Venom be this larger than life, crazy villain. And I think Tom Hardy wasn't huge by any stretch. He's not. He's a small dude. Like, I stood next to him.
Yeah.
But the character that was created, the CGI Venom, was what made you believe that he is Venom. Unfortunately, we were using so much more of the practical, real effects back then. Sam Raimi's just known for that kind of stuff,
Yeah, I also think it's the actor's vibe. Like, Tom Hardy's vibe, he demands a lot of presence, a lot of attention of who he is. Topher Grace, what kills me is that he had really great chemistry with Tobey Maguire. So I would have liked to see him as someone else in those movies. But he doesn't command the attention that Eddie Brock should when he's portraying Venom. It didn't work. He's a good actor. I like him as an actor. He's the one from that 70s show that I feel like I still have respect for. So it kind of sucks.
That group is,
problematic to say the least. But I agree with you completely. When it's like with me with the X-Men movies, I know some of them aren't great. I know the issues. I know that it's totally should be two different timelines, but they're pretending it's one. I get it.
Yeah.
I still love it. I don't care. I'll watch them all. Even Dark Phoenix, I will watch it and enjoy it.
Me too. I sat there and I watched Dark Phoenix and I was like, yeah, let's go. I'm getting Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's just, oh my God. I don't know, man. I'm a fanboy, I guess. I don't get paid to be a critic. And if I do have a problem with a movie, I will just be like, hey, that kind of look a little rough.
Yeah.
Madam Web, to me, I was interested in. I'm sorry, everyone. I know this is probably the last time I'll ever be on this pod because of this.
I didn't like Madam Web either.
It was. I had constructive criticism about it. I just didn't understand what was happening. That was the problem. Most movies that have plot holes, we like the CGI. We like what's going on screen. We got a lot of fighting. I was just lost. I was like, why are we, what are we doing?
What makes me mad about that movie is that I really like the actors. I like who Sydney Sweeney played. I like her for that character.
Yeah.
They did them so dirty with it. It, like, at one point, the main villain's mouth wasn't even moving and he was talking. And it was like that for half of the movie. Madam Web made no sense. And I hate Sony for doing this because it's going to be that much longer till the MCU picks it up whenever they get the rights to it. And we're not going to see one for a long time, as well as all of these other characters.
Yeah.
I hate
And
what
it just
they're
sucks
doing.
because you took something that was supposed to take place in that 2001 era, that 2000s era, and it's just like, you understand that was right after, or like with Toby, or right. I was just like, okay, so how is he involved in this? Like, are we gonna mention it? Is there any mention of a Spider-Man? Like, what are we doing?
And they took Adam Scott. What? Why'd you put him in that movie? That made me so mad because I was like, I wanted to see him in the MCU. I would have seen him as like cashier number 4. I don't care. I love that man. And look what you people did.
Adam Scott's been in some real cool stuff. I've watched him a long time ago on some HBO special that they did. Oh man, he's that dude, man. He can act.
He can, and I would have liked to see that carry over. But no, so now I guess just have to hope DC picks him up. Which
wow, know. Yeah, that would be cool.
It would be, but I need to know if him and James Gunn are good friends because James Gunn likes to hire his friends, which I would too. I would hire all my friends. So I just need them to become besties.
I'll text him later. We'll find out.
Yeah, just let me know. Yeah. All right. So this is also another rumor. I feel like there's a lot of rumors going around, and just want to kind of touch on a lot of them. The Young Avengers project that is happening. We all know. We saw at the end of the Marvels. We saw Kamala. We were there. It's reportedly being retitled to Champions due to the actors no longer being young, and it is said to be developing into a series instead of a movie. This is just a rumor, but I think it tracks. Also, if it is just a series, I think that is the absolute way to go. Not a movie.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't have enough substance to be a film.
Yeah.
Because it'll fall under the one-off category. Like, we're still waiting on more Eternal stuff. Like, there's so much there, and we kind of just dropped a little bit of the ball on the Eternals as well, because they have a rich history too. But it could have been a series.
Yeah, it should have been a series before the movie. If you're hell bent on having a movie,
yes, you can do this. I think this is the problem with Disney. I understand that they're scaling everything back right now, which is fine because you want to conserve money and save money.
Totally.
But if that's the case, the best way to save money is to do a television series. Don't spend a bajillion dollars doing it. Just get a TV series going, right? You could incorporate those characters into a film. You did it with Daredevil.
Yeah.
Right? We saw him in Daredevil, and then you saw him in the Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
Did it cost you anything? No. You probably paid him the same amount of money that you paid him to do the regular show.
Probably did it for free. Charlie Cox was ecstatic to be in the MCU.
I love him. He's so good. I remember that era of Marvel TV on Netflix. It was like never missed for me. I watched it at all times.
That was when it was all the grittiness of each show. And it was so grounded, so down to earth. And I'm so glad it seems like they're following that path now because they've seen what works. You see that the whole Disneyfying of a TV show that people do love, you see that will screw you over in the end.
Yeah.
And we've only heard great things, which actually leads me into my next bit of news, which is not a rumor, but it was exciting to hear. Vincent D'Onofrio, I hope that's how you say his name, who plays Kingpin and Marvel Studios' Daredevil, Hawkeye, and Echo, discusses Muse, the villain of Daredevil Born Again, saying, "You wouldn't want to be in his company. You would want to stay as far away from Muse as possible. Muse has an appetite that's not fun. So, are you knowledgeable on the comic character Muse?
Not as much as I would like, to be completely honest. I'm just putting it out
Totally
there.
fair.
And just because it's sometimes a little bit harder for me to keep up with everything MCU, especially since I've been a kid. I've been more of the mutants side of things. You know, I street level heroes have been a good favorite of mine as well. But no, not as knowledgeable as you'll probably be able to tell me and bring me up to speed, I hope.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I have some information.
Give it to me.
For a little information on Muse as a character from the comics, Muse was a sociopathic serial killer and a street artist who believed that he was giving purpose to his victims by turning them into gruesome works of art. In Daredevil, number 598, Muse's graffiti pops up all around the city, challenging Mayor Wilson Fisk's stance against the vigilantes. This enrages the former kingpin, so he wants Muse brought in, but Matt Murdock knows that it will only end in a bloodbath. So he's a fucked up character.
Now that I look at it, I just looked it up real quick here in front of me. I saw, as a matter of fact, when I saw that trailer, I was extremely intrigued. This character looks badass. I'm just going to put it that way. I would love to, what I'm probably going to do is what I've done in the past, is anytime I watch any of these MCU shows that I'm a little bit like, even with Luke Cage and stuff like that, I wasn't a big Luke Cage fan. So what do? I got my digital subscription. I go back, I read a couple of issues. Boom. Okay. Read the origins. Let me know what's going on. So I will 100% be going back and picking up on the origins of Muse for sure. And then I can sound super duper smart. By the way, that's the secret, everyone. Because we live in a world where everything is digital. So you're able to go back and smarten yourself up about just about anything ever. And you'll be super, like, your friends will think you're the smartest person in the world.
It's true. I do the same damn thing. I did it with Gore the Butcher Slayer.
Gore the Butcher, yes.
Who didn't?
Yes. Gore the Butcher, yeah.
Who didn't butcher any gods.
Didn't butcher nobody in that movie.
Nope. That was great.
I think he got butchered.
Super great movie. So happy I watched it. So good. So good. But I did it with Agatha.
Bale, I'm sorry.
God, wasted. I cried in the theater. I was so pregnant. And I was like, at least I have a movie that I can go watch because I was so miserable. And I was like, I could do something that I used to be able to do. I sat in that theater, I watched that movie, and I cried. And my husband was just like, do you want to go? Or, and I was like, oh, you can't go yet. We still have to watch the post-credit scene.
I remember watching that film. I was just like, I waited to watch it at home, to be honest, everyone. There's a lot of films that I just wait.
Well, it's expensive to go to the theater. It's hard to find time to go to the theater. And it's like, we're busy people.
We are. We're bringing you news and shows like this that'll entertain you for you to listen to. But luckily for you guys, we still are up on the lingo and understand that we go out there and we find information.
It's true.
I'm speaking on behalf of Megan here. I'm sorry, Megan.
No, please.
I could totally be lying.
I like the take charge attitude you have there. It's a very
Megan's
good thing to have.
probably like, F this guy. I don't want him talking for me.
I don't care. I don't. There's a lot of men in the world talking for women. You are not an issue on my radar whatsoever.
Okay, cool. I don't want to be that. I am all pro women anything. That's just me.
And I asked every single woman in the world, and we all appreciate the hell out of you for that.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. So, our last bit of news, which was unexpected, and I wasn't even sure I was going to talk about it, but I feel like kind of have to. A little unexpected news, Jonathan Major's ex-girlfriend has officially dismissed the lawsuit against him. His arrest in March 2023 ultimately led to him being dropped by his management and PR firms and fired by Marvel. We all remember it. Attorneys for both parties filed a joint notice with the court on Thursday, which stated that all claims against the defendant are hereby dismissed with prejudice. Yeah.
I need to know your feeling before I weigh in.
I have a few. It's just, the timing is weird to me because he just got engaged to Megan Good. So there's that. Also, the timing is weird to me because you fought tooth and nail in the court. Why did you just dismiss the charges? Is she being paid off? Was there hush money involved? What is going on? And also, it doesn't matter the charges were dropped. Public opinion still has it that he's the one who did it. Now, I have been open about this on the podcast before. In that instance, I don't think he was violent to her because we saw the video of him running from her. But I do think he has a narcissist issue. I do think he's an asshole. There's just no way he's not with all the people that came forward. So in that instance, I think he was found, and he should have been found innocent. But I think this humbling was something that needed to happen. What is your thoughts?
My initial reaction to all of this was there has to be a really good, there has to be really good concrete evidence, right? And this goes for any male and female, just to protect yourselves, right? What went on? What was really happening? We have video that's just weird. Why is he running? Yeah. Why is he trying to help her in or out of a cab? Like, what is happening right now? Yeah. Right? I'm not the first. I'm not a first jumper to say he's innocent, he's guilty. I want to hear it out, right? Because I want every woman protected from anything that could harm them. At the same token, I've been a part of women who have tried to manipulate the system or say something, right? Mm-hmm. That was, defamatory. How do you say it? When they defame you or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
And I was just like, do I got to seek legal counsel for this? And then they're like, oh no, I was just kidding. Right. So I've been in that back end of that kind of stuff. So I was just like, oh man, I hope and pray that this is not just her being pissed at him and saying, I'm going to get you fired. And I know how to get you fired and hurt you really bad. That was my first initial reaction. Then as things went on, I'm like, man, this is taking forever. Did he actually do something bad to her? Because then I'll be, I never voiced it. I never said anything. And, I'm with you. When I heard that Jonathan Majors got cleared of all charges and whatnot, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, wait a second. The man lost everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
So what happened? Did you go, like you just mentioned, was there a payoff? We know that these things happen all the time. We know NDAs are created for this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
She hasn't said anything.
No.
Nothing negative has came out of her side or her camp either.
Nope.
Right? Am I wrong? Or have you seen it? I haven't seen or heard anything.
Nothing from her, just a joint statement from both parties' lawyers saying that they were dismissed, which, I mean, that makes me think there was a payoff. But it's like, there's so many things about that trial that did not make sense to me. Like, I'm not 100% sure his lawyers were really working for him. Like when they put out those text messages that came from his camp that showed he was being controlling and narcissist to her through text. It was like, why would they release that? But then it's like, every taxi has a camera in it. No one released that video, but we got street camera video.
Right. I don't know. There's something there. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever know. I mean, not for the foreseeable future. Will they actually release or say anything? And, honestly, maybe that's just the way it's going to remain. I do hope it wasn't something much worse,
Yeah.
Like you just said, like a payoff or anything like that, because that would kind of be just ridiculous if they were to do something like that. But, yeah.
I think so too. At the end of the day, I hope no one got abused. But then it's like, I also hope this wasn't an act of lawyers and police against a black man. I also hope this wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
See, it goes so many different levels. It's like, yeah, you want to look out for the woman, but you also want to look out for the minority as well. So you don't really know whose side to take because you don't have any information. You just have the very vague statements from two lawyers who were at each other's throats that just put it behind them. And it's like,
Yeah.
how do you feel when he's in the next movie? I don't know. I really have no idea because I don't want to support someone who's about that life, but I also
Right.
want to know who I'm supporting.
Yeah, he's in another movie right now. I forgot who he's with. He took a picture with someone, and they posted it up not too long ago. And I follow them anyway. But yeah, he's in something that's coming out soon.
Is he real? What?
Yeah,
Let me see.
trying not to make too much noise with my clickety clacks.
Street Fighter.
My keyboard. Is it?
Street Fighter in 2026. That's what it says. Upcoming movies. I didn't know that.
Maybe that's what he was at.
That is a stacked cast. Jonathan Majors, Sydney Sweeney, Nathan Jones, Alan Richson. What? The guy from Stranger Things, Winston Duke. Oh, I'm watching the
There you go,
hell out of
people.
this
I'm
movie.
breaking news, my
Yeah,
friend.
I didn't even know this
Breaking
movie was
news.
happening. That's wild.
Yeah, but I saw something. Yeah, yeah, it would be Street Fighter 2026. I know they posted. I don't know who he was on set with, and they posted them, and I said, "Oh, look at these two together." And Jonathan Majors, and then I think he's also doing like a small production somewhere as well. So, yeah, there's a couple things that are happening.
It's interesting that anyone would take a picture
Oh yeah,
of
it
him.
is. It's an independent thriller called Merciless. Sorry, I did not
Oh.
mean to talk over you. I apologize.
Oh no, you're
for
fine.
that.
I'm no, don't worry about it. I talk over everyone. It's the ADHD, so
You could
you're
yell
good.
at me.
I don't want to. It's interesting that people are taking pictures with him and posting it because when all this is happening up until now, they have avoided his name like the plague. Like anyone that was on Loki season 2, his name has never been brought up. Anyone that has been on anything with him has not brought up his name, has not come to his side, nothing. And now they are. It makes me think like, okay, so they believe you. They're willing to risk their being canceled chance to go out in public and say like, I stand with this guy, which makes me think like
Yeah.
he was able to prove himself to them. And it's
Yeah.
just, I want to be a fly on the wall so bad. I want to know it all.
Yeah, something. Yeah, something's brewing. Maybe once, maybe he'll clear his name, and something good will come out of it, and hopefully it's all positive. But I don't know, man. We'll never know, man. There's so many things that get held up in court that us
Yeah.
as the people out here, the fan base, will never really see or hear about.
I like to think Megan Good did good with him and kind of like lifted him up and got him to where he needs to be. Because like the most that gets taken away from this is like he's a changed man. Even if he didn't hit her, even if he's never touched her a day in his life, he's still kind of an asshole. So like,
Yeah.
let's at least fix that.
Yeah, it's and it's unfortunate, dude. Like, you're in Hollywood, that's great, but there's always a next up type of mentality in Hollywood.
True. So that is the end of my news. Now it's time to talk about you, Alex. Tell us about you. Tell us what you're about. What are you doing? What's going on?
Well, for starters, I have been working on a new show called That Was Pretty Jolly. It started back in August. We decided to take the best 12 movies that we can think of, myself and my co-host Dina, and kind of just sit down and talk about them. Like, we wanted to do something different. I work on many shows, like Megan said, but we'll start off with this one. And this one, I wanted to be kind of like two friends just sitting on a coffee table or at Starbucks and sipping away on hot cocoa or your favorite coffee or whatever, your tea, and just bringing up a movie and talking about it. And like, do you remember this part? And do you remember how cool that was? And, you can talk about chronologically what was happening, but at the same token, not follow scene for scene and kind of just, have a good time, embracing that film. And, the latest one that that is out is Christmas with You. It's a film with Freddie Prinze Jr. Anyone who knows me knows that I've been working very close with him for the last 4 years. We do a show called Wrestling with Freddie, where he talks about the weekly happenings in pro wrestling, because he used to be a writer for WWE.
Oh.
And then, yeah, we also work on another show called That Was Pretty Scary. You guys can go see that. Check it out on YouTube and on any podcast platform. We have season 2 will be ending now in December. So getting ready for season 3 to come out next year. So he's become like a mentor to me. Even though he's a little bit older, a couple years older than me, we grew up in the same area in Puerto Rico. Like that's where he hung out in the summers with his grandmother. So it's kind of cool that someone who is high up there, man. Like everyone knows Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh yeah.
I've become really great friends with, and he has become not only a mentor but like a big brother type of style. Going back to, if I was to go back in time and say, hey, you'll be friends with Freddie Prinze Jr., like, yeah, you loser. You're not gonna be nothing doing any of that stuff, So it's really cool. And right now he's away filming his new film, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yes, It's not a remake; it's actually a continuation of the film. So yeah, that should be coming out next year. And you guys should go check that out. But yeah, other than that, man, like you mentioned, I'm everywhere. I'm doing wrestling shows on Friday on Fightful. If you guys look up Fightful on YouTube, I do a post show for SmackDown. That show's been great. It's grown. We get over 10,000 live viewers every single Friday night. And just talking wrestling. Who would ever thought it, right? I have another show, and I'm probably boring everyone. I have another show coming out soon called that's going to be called That Was Pretty 90s, where we go over the things in the 1990s, in the decade of the 90s. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that with my best friend Austin Romero, who's the in-ring announcer for WWE. So you guys probably know him as Mike Rome, because that's the name he uses in the ring. So there's a ton of projects that I'm working on. You guys are going to be seeing a lot of great things coming from me. I'm always talking nerdy. I hope that I'm able to always have a seat here with you, Megan. I'm more about supporting and uplifting than talking about myself, to be completely honest. You guys can always go to alexiscardoza.com. That's my name. I just decided to buy the URL because it was just easier. And you'll come up to my page with all the links, all the shows, everything that I do. That way I don't bore you to death with it. And, but I really enjoy doing this. Like, this is like my wheelhouse. I really love it.
I love having you here. And if you guys did not catch the name of that website, just check the show notes right under wherever you're watching this video or listening to this podcast, and it'll have the URL right there ready for you to click. We love that you're here. Me and the listeners. I love it. You're not boring anyone. I'm super proud of you. You do so much, and it's all wildly different. That's what I get a kick out of. It's like he's doing WWE stuff. He's doing Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Now he's just like smoking up with Freddie Prinze Jr. And it's like I'm getting whiplash. It's so funny. It's so cool.
I'm sorry. I'm very, and I don't know if anyone has said it, and I'm gonna say it. You can bleep this out of the show, but I am very effing proud of you, of the way that you've handled yourself in this situation with your show here, and how significantly amazing and just overall how uplifting it is for you to continue your show, continue to do this, continue to have guests, continue to for those who don't know you, and I know you because I bother you all the time online. I don't know you personally, but I bother you enough to know you. So it's very cool to see, and I'm very excited to see what you have to where you're going to build this and where you're going to go with it.
Well, first of all, I am not taking that out because thank you. That's so nice.
You're welcome. I'm like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Oh, I don't care.
It's her show.
I can do whatever I want here. But
I love that.
Yeah, it's been weird. It's a lot of change. I don't handle change super well. So that's the trauma and the anxiety, but that's nothing. But it's been pretty eye-opening that you you think that you have this non-toxic safe space, and then when you look back, you're like, it really wasn't. It was just whatever we said it was, but we didn't have a community behind us. We didn't have people coming on sharing their life and dreams. We just had people who listened. That's it. We didn't have that. But now it feels like it's backed up by an actual community, people who actually care and are invested. And I'm having all these people come on, and it's been busy, but very, very good to see, because now it does feel like I'm actually doing something.
You're good busy.
Yeah,
so that's always
busy.
Great.
Yeah. It's
yeah,
very, very
I
good
love
busy.
that for you.
Thank you. And you're very good busy too.
I'm trying to be as good busy as you good busy, but good busy is very busy. I just said that a lot, but yeah.
I dug it though. It was pretty good. I think. Look at us.
And by the way, yeah, what are you doing before we get out of here? I know you probably have to go. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? I want to know what you're doing. I'm going to interview you. Do you have anything fun happening for Thanksgiving? Like, what's happening?
I have to go to my husband's family's house. I'm not a fan, but we have to go. It's not them personally. They're very kind people. I have 2 daughters.
Yeah.
One is special needs, and the other one is a flight risk. So their house is full of family heirlooms. Everything is breakable and beautiful. And you're like, you don't even get to eat. You're just holding these kids down because,
Sure. Yeah.
It's not socially acceptable to have your kids on a leash yet, but I'm working on that. So
it was when I was growing up.
Was it really? God, I was born in the wrong time.
We had those little monkey things, that like you attach to your body, and the parent is attached on the wrist. Yeah.
I had the monkey thing. My mom said that everyone looked at her weird, and I pulled on it so hard I had bruises, so she had to stop using it because people thought she beat me. But that's all right.
Oh no.
It seems like my kids have that too. That's all right. What about you? What is your Thanksgiving?
So right now my family just came down from Jersey. They flew in this what was it? Yeah, this morning or this weekend? I don't remember. I don't even know what day it is. But yes, they flew in, and they're going to be here all week, which is great in North Carolina. So I'm excited. I'm excited to have everyone here, get some good food in our bodies and just have a chill time. I always say this, we're very blessed to be where we're at right now. Both in what we do in work and in life, right? Like, we're here. This is our time to shine. Life is finite, and I want to make the best of it. And having family around of any type, even if it's just like my brother or something, is great for me.
Plus, it's been such a scary time in general.
Scary.
With everything happening. So it's like, it's nice to kind of slow down, not think about those things, just enjoy that we're here, we're okay, we're healthy, and we have each other.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a strange world that we're going to be in for the next couple of years. So, like with everything, I'm not talking political. I'm just saying with everything, like we just have to always be here for each other and have each other's backs. And this goes, I could have said this 4 years ago. I could have said this 10 years ago. It's a scary world. Whatever comes ahead, we have to always kind of just come together and face it in a good way.
Yeah, I agree. We don't know what the future will bring, but we will find out together, and we will all be here supporting each other, and we will be here supporting you guys. So be sure to click the link, follow Alex on every single thing, because you never know what he's going to post. It might be a Christmas post. It might be an X-Men 97 post. Every day is different.
Oh, yeah.
And it's amazing. And who doesn't love other X-Men fans? Come on, guys. It's beautiful.
I might just build an OnlyFans for Marvel. No, just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
I'll post the link if that's
Marvel.
what you want to do. That's perfectly fine.
You hit that spicy link, friends. We're going to talk some X-Men.
Just add it to your link tree. It'll be cool. I'm sure they'll accept it. Oh, my goodness. So, as we wrap up, I usually ask where our listeners can find you. If you'd like to name all the places, or you can just say, click the link that'll be in the show notes.
Yeah, please click the link that's on the show notes. Alexis Cardoza, my full name, together.com. And like I mentioned before, you'll see everything there. And I hope that when you do follow me on wherever you follow me, say hi. Let me know you listen to from, you got to me from here, from Megan's show, because this is exciting. I like being here a lot. I want to come back. I want to come back.
I want you to come back. Thank you for so much for being here with me. It is always a pleasure, always so much fun. Please feel free to stop by anytime. Like, just say you want to stop by and I'll make it happen. I love having you. You're so much fun. So
thank you so much. I appreciate you and appreciate everyone who listens. Sorry. If you froze on my screen for a second, so I was like, oh no, wait, did it freeze or did she stop it? So I just wanted to make sure I didn't talk over you.
Oh no, your screen froze as well. And I was just like, okay. We were in a weird place there. So that does it for another episode of Vigilante Vibes, the only non-toxic Marvel podcast. Hope you all enjoyed it. Be sure to follow me on social media sites. Just search for Vigilante Vibes podcast and you'll find me. You can also check me out at nerdinitiative.com, where we review the latest comics, movies, and TV shows, and we get to interview the creators of those comics and TV shows and movies. Wherever you're listening to me now, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for listening as usual. Thank you for all your support. Have a marvelous day.